If you guys are looking for any cheap and reliable coins, check out MMOPO.com. Use the code PINGU at checkout to get 8% off. You guys, welcome to Season 3, Episode number 1 of the Derby Crowd Live. And to start this episode, we are in the Champions League for this season. We're going to be trying to go for that title as well. And we do have a lot of money to spend. We do have 83 million and 156,000 wage budget. On top of that, we do have a number of players that we could potentially sell and increase that to way over 100 million. So I think we've got a good amount of money. Let's have a look at the board expectations for this season then. It's going to be, I think, youth development's one in this season that I might just completely avoid because we're at a 98 manager rating anyway. I don't mind skipping some objectives in terms of the youth development because they're just not going to be any use this season, and one of the objectives is to play 50% of games with at least one youth academy player, which just isn't going to work because they're all around 65 rated, and that's just not going to work in this very competitive season. So we do need to get 10 games without a defeat this season. I don't quite understand what that means. Get 10 games without a defeat. Does that mean just win 10 games? That's not exactly that difficult, is it? Sign a first team crucial midfielder, should be easily doable. Reduce the wage budget by 67k. Finish a Europa League spot in the table. Reach the semi-final of the FA Cup. Now that one might be a bit of an issue with us being in the Champions League at the same time. Having to juggle all these competitions. But we did do it last season with a much weaker squad, so we'll have to wait and see. And to finish in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's only a very low priority, but those are the objectives for the season. Obviously we did very well last season with the objectives, and here is the squad for this season. I don't think we've got anyone coming into the starting 11 yet from those pre-contract signings of Danny Ings, Bakayoko and Jack Harrison. One thing I'm really happy with is loaning out our players has grown them by quite a bit. We loaned out Roden as a 74, he's now a 77. I think we loaned out Adara Bayo as a 72, and he's gone up to 75 as well. So it's good to see these plus 3 rating increases. Not really much of a growth to Capaldo, but all in all, like the players that we did loan out, the majority of them grew by about 3 or 4 ratings. So that's really, really good to see. Obviously, Bakayoko, Ings, and Harrison coming into the fold. We do have I think we've got a good squad size. Obviously, we can look to sell DeAndre Yedlin because I just don't think he's quite good enough for the right back position. So that's probably going to be where we look at first in terms of signings. So let's head over to the transfer hub and have a look and see what we've added. I've added a lot of different players here. First up, I do have Zlatan Ibrahimovic here. At 11 million, wouldn't be the worst kind of signing in case Cabral does go. We can almost replace Ibra with him and then push Batshuayi into the starting 11. So he's obviously just there. He's obviously got that Champions League experience at 40 years old. It's kind of crazy. Obviously, his pace is still okay. Like 50 pace is actually okay for Ibra, as he is 6'5". And obviously with those 5-star skills, very, very good player. 90 composure and 87 strength. Then we've got Gerard Deulofeu, just a nice winger option, can play anywhere behind the striker, would give us a very good squad depth. In terms of goalkeepers, we do actually only have one goalkeeper at the club at the minute, and it is Ramsdale. I could potentially recall Martinez, who is out on loan. He's about 70 rated, but maybe buying a better first choice goalkeeper, so that's why I've added Cragno, although he is only 6 foot tall. We also have Nandez here, really versatile player, can play anywhere in the midfield. Literally, he's basically Jason Knight but Uruguayan. Then we have Omar Mascarell here, 80 rated. Obviously, he was a former Derby player, and just a nice holder midfielder if we need that option. Obviously, we can look at a swap deal with Fernandinho. I've added a few free agents as well. We've got Bettinelli here, good backup goalkeeper, probably around 70 rated. We've got Livakovic here, probably a better goalkeeper than what Ramsdale is at the minute, but we'll have to wait and see when his scout report does come back. Obviously, right back scenario we're looking at, so I've added the likes of Atal, Dest, Trippier, Emerson, Tomiyasu and Babu, and a few others, to be honest. Also got Mason Mount here. I doubt we're going to have enough money to sign him, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe if we sell Cabral for like a stupid amount of money, we could have the funds to bring in Mason Mount back to the club, and that would be quite a nice thing to do. We do have Lassina Traore here, who was actually offered to us by Ajax in Season 1. And in terms of a free agent. You know, he's 21 years old, worth about 10 million. It's kind of a no-brainer financially, that one, but we'll have to wait and see whether we do that. Then we've got Van der Voort here, 20 years old, 6'2", would be a good young goalkeeper to bring in and to give Ramsdale a bit of competition, of course. And now that we are in the Champions League, obviously having two very good goalkeepers is probably what we're going to look at. Then we have added a few free agents here that are actually really, really good. We've got Nacho Fernandez, obviously former Real Madrid player. It's kind of annoying because you can't actually see what his wages are, so he'd probably be on around 30 to 40 grand, which for a very versatile defender is actually quite good, as he can play anywhere in the back four. So I'm kind of tempted to do this deal straight away because he's around 80 rated and would improve the defence quite a bit. Then we've got Van Ginkel here, obviously very good midfielder from Chelsea. And then we have Rize, former Barcelona player, really, really young and very good potential, and actually got really good stats as well if you look at those base stats that he's got there, like in terms of ball control, 80 ball control at least, and very good standing tackling. So I think Rize and Fernandez are probably the two that stand out in these free agents. We do have Bernardo here as a backup left back if we need that kind of player, but I'm sure there's plenty of different options. And then we do have Enzo Perez as the final free agent, I think it is. He is 36, but he's still a very good player. Decent pace as well. Still, 36-year-old with about 60 pace is decent. I think that's it in terms of adding players to the shortlist. I think I added Max Aarons as well, who has gone back down to the Championship. So, yeah, in terms of right back, it's a position that obviously we kind of struggled with last season, and I kind of want to see what like the likes of Mbabu, Tomiyasu and Emerson are, but I think since we have the scout report already, and he is a former Derby player, let's go in for Jayden Bogle as the first signing of this season. And yeah, he's 77 rated, so in terms of growth he should be good to potentially grow a little bit more. I do want to obviously look to do swap deals with players that aren't going to be that useful. As you can see, Max Bird is worth 58 million, which is a little bit ridiculous when you really, really think about it. But yeah, I think we're really strong in that midfield area. So it's the likes of Fernandinho or maybe just a straight swap with DeAndre Yedlin that we can look at in this deal. So if I do that plus, I think 8 million, then that should be about the right amount. Hopefully Sheffield United are interested. I'm not too sure if we were allowed to do this kind of swap deal last season because it was Yedlin's first year. They are looking at Matty Clark plus 5 million, which is stupidly high. We're going to offer Fernandinho now, and hopefully we'll increase the transfer fee to 9 million, and hopefully that will be what they're looking at, because I think Matt Clark's worth about 30 million if I was going to sell him. But as you can see, they're not interested in the player, and they're going up to 19 million. I will try Dario Bayo in this deal because obviously he wasn't included in the past in this kind of deal, and hopefully they're interested. So they're going to need a little bit of time, so hopefully that goes through. But maybe just waiting a little bit just to see what those free agents are worth. But I'm kind of tempted just to go into negotiations straight away with the free agents, because if you wait, clubs can literally just snatch them up straight away. So Fernandez and Reece, I think particularly Reece because he is 22. I think we kind of have to do this deal and just kind of wing it and hopefully get a good deal. Obviously, it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. This one, really good player, and only wanting a rotation role. It's not a position we 100% need, but obviously financially it'll make a lot of sense doing this deal. And as you can see, he has actually offered his wages, which is good to see. 26,000 a week should be okay for us to pay. And there you go. There's our first signing of the transfer window. I was kind of hoping it would have been Bogle, but I think the free agent of I think it's Riaz. Tell me how to pronounce his name because I'm not too sure. But 75 rated, 22 years old. You know, if I can get him into this team eventually and get him some playing time, then that rating will just rock it up to like mid 80s quite easily. And if you compare him with kind of like Bird in a way, but a bit slightly different. But yeah, it's quite similar to Bird, I'd say. I think he's like for like with him. Very good dribbling, shooting, and of course passing. So of course I forgot to mention all the players that have left the club. Obviously the deal for Bogle's not been accepted for Dara Bio. Johnny Mitchell's left the club, Ben Foster, Rooney, Byrne, Ida goes out on loan, Shinny's left, and Jack Harrison, Bakayoko, and Danny Ings does join the club. So they're all the messages basically. I have put Fernandinho on the shortlist, I think, the transfer list, sorry, because I think he's one of those that is just going to deteriorate this season because he's probably not going to get into that first team. And I think it's kind of difficult to get him in, really. He's at 80 rated and 37, so it's going to be one of those that we'll have to wait and see, of course, as the season goes on. There might be a point where Riaz, I might just say his name completely different every single time, but there might be a point where we just literally swap them out because, well, physically and pace-wise, he's much better. Into our first pre-season game of the season then against... why have they done that? I've auto-replaced it, and for some reason he's gone for Yedlin up top. Yeah, we currently only have one goalkeeper at the club, so slight of an issue. But I don't think it'd be too much of an issue, so we will just quick sim these pre-season games, as it's a nice extra bit of money, but I'm not too fussed. We do actually win the game 2-1, which is good to see. It's going to be very interesting to see what Champions League group we're in as well. Offer for Mbabu from Arsenal for 28 million, which I think, you know, the extra 10 million that compared to what Sheffield United are wanting for Bogle, it's probably not worth Mbabu. I'd much rather get Bogle, and yeah, we're trying to just do the fee. I think we've got the money, we may as well. I just don't think anyone's interested in our players, which is kind of frustrating. But if we can propose the transfer fee down a bit closer to his value, maybe just 15 million on the dot, then that'll be, you know, we've still got 68 million to spend, so I don't see much of an issue. They are sticking to their price though. I don't really want to be paying much more than 16 million, so I've put a 20% in, and unfortunately Chris Wilder is not happy with that one bit. I just don't think he's... I don't know, he's young and obviously will grow, but I think the price tag that I was offering was perfectly fine for him, but I guess we just go back in for him in a week's time. A bit of interest here in Cantwell from Osasuna, 15 million. Not a bad price, but I think we've got plenty of players in that position. I don't know if it'll put Yedlin back up top again, and it has against PSG this time, so let me just quickly go back in and put Danny Ings in. I'm not too sure why that's happening. But yeah, I think overall I'm really happy with the squad. If we do get a big offer for the likes of Vazquez or Cabral, then obviously that will generate a lot of money. And as you can see, we just drew there with PSG in the pre-season tournaments. That kind of shows what kind of level the team is and how good we're performing. An actual transfer offer for Bobby Duncan from Preston North End, and a player that is 67 rated, and we have got a lot of strikers at the club. It's just a bit of a shame we didn't actually use him more in the Championship, because then it obviously would have got his rating up to a much better place. But yeah, it's one of those where we obviously brought in Liam Delap and Adam Ida, and kind of fell down the pecking order a little bit. Maybe I could have played him instead of the likes of Marriott, but we will go up to 1.55, and hopefully they'll accept that. And there we go, that's good to see, just that extra 150k. You never know where it might come in handy. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame we've not really used Bobby Duncan and Hutchinson as well, both kind of under 23 players at the minute. And as you can see, Mbabu has gone to Arsenal, so that deal hasn't been able to be done. But a good offer from Granada for Capaldo, and I probably will just increase it to 6 million, see if we can get a good deal here for him. And yeah, we're just getting that extra bit of money, which is nice to see from these odd players that we have obviously brought in on free transfers and stuff like that. So I probably will need to look to get Fernandez now if we are going to want to get him. I don't think I can probably wait any longer, and he may have already gone, because obviously the free agents just move super quick. So let's just head over to the transfer hub and have a look and see. Hopefully he's still there. Yeah, he is. So I think this one's a kind of a no-brainer. I know he's 32, but he's 80 rated, so I think he's a good option to have. You can play left back, right back, or centre back. Obviously, he has won, I think, about 4 Champions League with Real Madrid, so that'd be very good experience. I kind of want to give him a rotation, but he's wanting important, which I think is fine. He's 32. We're not going to worry too much about it. We'll We'll give him a 2-year deal, I think, just because obviously he's 32, and I think he turns 33 in January, so we'll get him up to about 35. And that's not the worst, to be honest. I was expecting probably around the 50 mark, so if we can get him for 37 grand a week, they're going for 41. If we can get it down to 40, just get it a bit rounded. And I think that'll do about that. I'm just going to accept it. I can't. 1,000 isn't going to cost us too much, but there we go. We have made our second signing. I think the way you can make free agent signings now on career mode is actually a really good development. He is 80 rated, 78 pace, 80 defending, 80 physical. Like that was a no-brainer in my opinion. It does kind of mean that obviously we got, how many centre backs have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we probably, I don't know, it's one of those, and Cabango actually. It's one of those where obviously because of the extra European competition we will need the numbers. It's just where we need those numbers. Transfer offer here for DeAndre Yedlin. Be very interested to see what the top end is. 11.7 million. So I think if we can get that, then I think I'll just accept whatever Sheffield United want for Bogle. And obviously this will pretty much finance that deal. It would be nice obviously just to have Yedlin in the deal plus like 7 million. But if we can get it up to that, what was it, 11.5? I'll be happy with that if they go for 11.5. They're going for 9.7. Remove the sell-on clause because it's absolutely useless to me. And if we can go for 11.4, and obviously that'll hopefully get the deal over the line. I'm kind of tempted just to accept that 10.9, but if we can get an extra 400,000, that'll be great. And why did I push it? I pushed it too hard. These strict transfer, I don't know why I did that. Why did I go for an extra 400,000? Final preseason game of the group then against PSV, and it is a 2-1 victory. Good to see, of course. Obviously against Koku's former club. It'd be very interesting to see when this video does come out whether he is still the manager or not. And there we go. We have sold Bobby Duncan. Yedlin is actually on the transfer. Ooh, bit of a deal from Monaco. But we have sold Bobby Duncan. We have got an extra 1.8 million and a very interesting offer here for Fernandinho from, the problem is he's 75 rated. Jovetic of like a few seasons ago was a quality player, but I think at 75 rated, I don't know if it's what we exactly need. Like the pace is absolutely gone, no strength. He's only really technical stats. And we've got a number of strikers anyway, so he's definitely not going to be a good option for us. So if we can either get money or another Monaco player, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I think I'm just going to remove the exchange player and go straight up for probably about 10 million. He's a good player still, Fernandinho, but I think he's just going to deteriorate too much. And there you go. The 10 million is set. So I think it's probably worth, you know, we've still got the money from Fernandinho in this deal. And we've still got a lot of money. I'm just trying to wait and see what our final scout reports come back with, so we'll have to wait and see, especially the goalkeepers, the likes of Livakovic and Kragno, but and Van der Voort, of course, so we'll wait and see what those come back with on them players. So I think we're just going to go accept, you know, if we can get 17 to 22 million for Bogle, then that'd be great. Obviously, as a former Derby player, it just makes a lot of sense, and he's 21 years old, so he's going to grow very, very high indeed. So I think if we just offer the exact, I'll even go 17.3, and hopefully Sheffield United do accept that straight away. And there we go. See, when you do actually go within the boundaries, they do accept it straight away. So, you know, it's an extra 3 million on top of his value, but he is 21, and I do want to bring him back to the club. So I think this deal makes a lot of sense, and yeah, let's see what kind of wages that he's looking for. Obviously, we will give him a important first team role. He's happy with that. It's a bit of a shame he doesn't have a scanned player face. Obviously, now he plays for a Premier League team. It's going to be interesting to see. They do actually come in with the wages, and they're actually under what his current wages are, which is very interesting indeed. So we've got 24 grand a week wages for Bogle, which I think we'll just accept. That's really, really low, and we do bring him back to the club, so really good to see. He will go straight into that right back position, which obviously does move Fosu Mensah back to the bench. We still need a goalkeeper. We still don't actually have a goalkeeper in the team. But I think if we can get him, towards low in terms of defensive stats, if we can get him over 80, then that'd be really, really good, of course. Bit of growth to Vasquez, going to an 81 at 31 years old, which is nice to see, of course. Yeah, it might be a case of letting go of either Rodon or Adaro Bio, because we have brought in Bogle now. Obviously, Fosu Mensah slots back into those positions, so it's one of those where we're trying to balance the team as best as possible. We do go into the semi-finals, but before that we do actually sell Capaldo for 6 million. So financially those 3 deals are actually really, really good. A few scout reports here then for Marco van Ginkel. I don't know if I go back into this deal now and accept it. Oh, so this is how you delegate, right? So I know you guys have been telling me, but I just don't know. I've never delegated before. I always do it myself, but unfortunately with the loan to buys, if you just offer a loan, then it doesn't work. But yeah, Van Ginkel's 75. The issue is obviously we do have a number of centre mids already, and he is injury prone. So at 30 years old, he's not going to really grow. He may grow 1 or 2 ratings. But as you can see, we have actually sold Fernandinho to AS Monaco, and I think that was a really good deal for, we had him for a good 6 months. And we've managed to profit on the deal, of course, so we now have what we started the career mode with in terms of transfer budget. And yeah, I think overall I'm really happy, obviously getting a younger squad. Final pre-season game here then against PSG, and we do actually win it 1-0 against PSG, so that gets me quietly confident for the season, of course, ahead. We are in the Champions League. I'm not too sure when the teams actually do get announced, but there we go. We have actually loaned Lee Buchanan out, so that's good to see. We do get 3.6 million for that, and a bit of development here to Damari Gray, going to an 81 rated winger. Good to see. Now he's got 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot, and probably keep him on the inverted winger. I think that's the best for wingers. There we go. We have got another transfer offer here for DeAndre Yedlin, so it's good to see. He has actually gone down to 10.7, so we can't negotiate too much. I think I'll just offer once. Whatever they come back with, I'll accept, because he's a good player, but not, I don't know, I just don't think he's quite good enough. And at 29, he's only really gonna, he's not going to increase too much more, so I'll go for the 10.5 million. Hopefully they accept that, and that'll be that deal wrapped up. There we go. So I think he's done a good job for this season. Again, another player we got on a free agent, so I can't really complain about him. I think financially it's been a really good deal, and now we have obviously got Bogle in. You can look at that way. We basically got Bogle for free if you take out Fernandinho and Yedlin. One thing I can actually do is call up my youth academy goalkeeper. I guess that just means we have a backup goalkeeper until we sign somebody. So let's just bring him into the bench. I always like to have a goalkeeper on the bench in case of injuries, of course, so we will put him there. I know it's only 58 rated, but it's better than not having a goalkeeper altogether. We should get the reports back from Van der Voort and the other goalkeeper quite quickly. So yeah, we do have an approach here from Lazio for Cantwell, 20 million from Everton. You see, that kind of annoys me that Aarons and Bogle are about the same price, because Aarons is probably the better of the two. I don't know if I will loan out Rodon, because he's 77 rated, and that's actually quite decent. I think I might look at the other two centre-backs of Cabango and what the other one is, Adaro Bio. So let's have a look at the scout reports then for the goalkeepers in particular, because that's a position that I'm kind of tempted to look at. We do have Cragno here. Would cost us about 30 million. I think Bijlow was already there. Not bad actually, at 79 rated. And yeah, it seems like they're about the same price, both Cragno and Livakovic, which is a bit of a shame. And they're kind of the same rated as Ramsdale, so it kind of defeats the point. But we do have Van der Voort here, 75 rated, 20 years old. I think the wages as well, like you compare, like he is going to be a backup goalkeeper, so I think that's kind of a no-brainer. I won't pay the 25 million. I'll pay what his transfer fee is. I think he's on 12 months left, so that's why he's a little bit cheaper. We'll just go for 10 million on the dot, and hopefully Genk do accept that. And there we go. We have got the deal here for Van der Voort, a good backup goalkeeper, 20 years old. Could be the potential future replacement for Ramsdale. And might play a few games in the league, or especially in the FA Cup, we'll definitely use him. I think last year we literally used Ramsdale in every game. Sporadic role, really good to see. It means he's going to be on super cheap wages, and we'll give him a 4-year deal. Since he is only 20, I could have even given him a 5. And there you go, 15k for a player that's, you know, better than Bettinelli. We've got a cheaper one, and that's the funny thing about this game, especially players from abroad. And there we go. We do bring in Van der Voort. I think we did sign him on last year's career mode on FIFA 20 apparently, so he's one of those that we have used in the past, and I think he was quite good. He's got the same player pick, I know for sure. 6'2". I think is he slightly taller? Same height. But as you can see, he's only a couple of diving lower. You know, 5 reflexes, quite a bit in position. I think that's going to be where we set up the development plan to get that position to a better place, because positioning is quite important, of course. We do have Ivan Martinez out on loan at Dijon, but I kind of want to just keep him there to keep him growing. So we will go for the sweeper keeper role, and also gets the weak foot up, which is helpful for clearing the ball quickly, and also giving me kit number 13, I think we'll go for, since he is the backup goalkeeper. We do need to do race and Jaden Bogle as well. I might give do I give Bogle his 37? Was it 37? What number did he have? I think I'm just going to give Bogle number 2, because he is the right back and obviously well established in the team now. But I think all in all, I'm kind of happy with the squad, and we haven't really spent any money. We've still got like 100 million. I'm almost like waiting to see if anyone does come in for Cabral, because then, you know, we can go to that next tier striker in terms of, like, you know, towards the 90 mark. But yeah, I think that deal for Van der Voort's kind of a no-brainer at 10 million. Very good financially, and will grow quite quickly. Obviously, Edlin going to Benfica, and we do have a bit of interest here in both. Ooh, that's kind of annoying. If that deal does go through of 13.8 million, I'm kind of annoyed, because he's 82 rated. He's like 7 ratings higher than. The question is obviously whether Dinamo Zagreb will accept it or not. Not too bothered about Longstaff now that we have got a number of central midfielders such as Bakayoko and Reyes coming into the club. Offer from Bayern Munich for Matty Clark. He is up to 80 rated now, of course, and yeah, I think I'm just going to reject this offer, because he's one of those that, since he is one of the originals, he's not getting sold, so we'll keep him at the club. Just waiting to see if we do have the Champions League groups revealed yet, but I think we're still in the qualifying rounds, which I don't think we have to take part in. So we'll wait and see who our group is. Hopefully it's a nice and easy one, because at least then we can get to the knockout stages. Let me just quickly check who our first Premier League game of the season is. It is against West Ham. Pretty good start at home. Then we have Arsenal, Fulham and Sheffield United, who were promoted, also with Aston Villa and Blackburn. So it's nice to see Blackburn back in the Premier League. But it's quite a nice start. You know, we really did well against Arsenal last season. So I see it's kind of going unbeaten until, you know, the month of October, where we've got Man United, Spurs, and then Chelsea, Man City. So yeah, I do like having a look at the fixtures. I think we have the Liverpool game on the same day as we did on the last year's career mode, so that's kind of funny. How similar that is, but yeah, let me just see what we do finish off. Yeah, we finish off the season with Man City at home again, like we did that last year. Come on, game, give me a bit of rotation. But yeah, it's very similar actually. The fixtures, like we had Everton, we had Southampton, we had Chelsea all at the end of that season, which obviously we did just play. So it's kind of frustrating that the fixtures, I don't know, just seem a little bit the same again, but I don't think it'll make much of a difference, especially with Champions League football. Update on our youth academy. As I said, I'm not too fussed how this goes now. If we do sign anyone up, they'll just go straight out on loan until they're usable, but we do have an offer here for Cabango, 72 rated now. He is 22. But obviously, as I said, we do have a number of centre-backs at the club now, because bringing in Yedlin, it kind of moves Fosu Mensah back to centre-back. Then we have Rodon, Fernandez and Adarabiayo. So I think we're going to have to let Cabango go. He's a good player, and I'm almost tempted to loan him out because he would be really good in the future. But we can always buy him back. I think you kind of have a power curve and you have to stay in front of that. So unfortunately, Cabango has fallen behind. He's a good player, but slightly too low rated now at 72. So we'll have a look and see. We don't exactly need the money, but I think just having a thin squad makes things much better. I'll even go up to 7 million because I've even got 7.9 million. They've gone to 6.6. Can get an extra 500,000, and that'll be good. Get it up to 7.2. And as I said, there we go. So 7 million for a player that, you know, we're not going to be playing this season really because of the number of centre backs we do have. It's a good bit of business. Ooh, see, this is what I kind of wanted. I wanted a big offer for one of my players that aren't one of the originals, and Demarai Gray is definitely one of those. They're looking at towards 37.8 million, which is a lot of money for a player, you know, at 81 rated. I could probably quite easily replace, and it kind of makes the career mode interesting. Obviously, we brought in Harrison. Lawrence has actually grown a rating, which is interesting to see. Same with Bielik to an 84. But yeah, Gray was good last season, but I think the amount of money that's being offered there, it would be silly not to go into negotiations. So if we can get the 37 point, whatever the top end was basically of that offer, yeah, 37.8. And I don't see why we wouldn't do this deal, because then it gives us a lot of money. I think I'll just go in with the wages, because unless they offer the player, it's going to be quite difficult. So we'll go in, was it 38? Or was it 37? I think 38's fine, like it's 13 million over his current value. They're sticking at 26 it seems, so we'll knock it down to 37 million if we can kind of get that towards that, you know, over 35. They're sticking at 26, right? Can I offer one of their players in here just to sweeten the deal a little bit? They actually have an incredible squad, and I don't know why. They have so many good players here to bill in. Fabra's not a bad shout for his backup left back for low. We'll put him in and see if that deal does get accepted. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But they were just sticking at 26 million, which, you know, is his value. So I'm not going to sell him for what he's worth. I've just thought of something really clever. And if this works, then it's worth doing. So let me try and end off this episode with a bit of a banger. If I've just thought of this correctly, it might be what exactly we need to do. And it is for Lucas Vazquez. Then I'll offer 30 million. And we still have 57 million. So it's not like we're spending all our money on Mason Mount. And it's really dependent on what Chelsea value Mount. Yeah, and they don't want Vazquez, and that was kind of the entire point of this deal. But the transfer sum is only 54 million, which is actually quite good. If I can maybe get the likes of Adarabiayo into this deal and knock it off by, you know, I'll be happy to do that for 44 million plus him. But they're sticking to their price. I wonder if they will just negotiate. Because even if I'd go for 44 million and then we sell Vazquez, ooh, we're getting close. You see, this is what I want. I want to go to that next level player, and Mason Mount is definitely that. Can we get 44 on the dot? Because that is under his value by quite a bit. I might just accept this, to be honest, because it's under a value for a 23-year-old. And we still have 40 million to spend, and I will accept that, and we will transfer list Lucas Vazquez. He was very good last season, Lucas Vazquez, but I think when you've got Mason Mount as an option, you know, that he'll go to 90 rated, no problem at all, whereas Vazquez will kind of max out at 81. So we will transfer list him. Maybe should have waited to actually get Mount into the club first, but let's go into the negotiations now. I don't think he's on that much wages as well. 100k. Maybe I lied. Let me see what we can do, and hopefully this will be the big signing that we need to kick off this season 3. Obviously, he will be a crucial player, really good player, like especially this year because you can upgrade skill moves on weak foot. There's no issue at all with him, and we will give him a 5-year contract. Very happy with that. Obviously, he has got his scanned player face, and that is lovely because I removed that bonus, and we probably put this up to 65. I might even go to 70. I'll go 65, and we'll go that up to 700,000. And you know, we've still got 40 million, and we've got Vazquez to sell, which is, you know, 20 or 30 million. They've gone to 73. I kind of don't want to negotiate because it's still, you know, we're still paying 27,000 less wages for him. So I think I'm just going to accept that. It's a top quality signing, and it is the best rated player we do have on the shortlist. I don't know why the board are angry at me for doing that. My manager rating was like 96 before this, and 95 I think, and now it's gone down to 89 when I've ticked off an objective. But nevertheless, we have made a brilliant signing in Mason Mount, of course, former Derby player himself, and yeah, if we compare the stats with Lucas Vazquez, as you can see, shooting wise and passing and dribbling, he's just absolutely maxed him out. And I don't exactly need the pace. Like agility at 89 is going to be sensational. Finishing at 80, now that's a ridiculous upgrade. I think I'll probably keep him as Will Hughes' number at number 19, because I don't really have anything else to really offer him. Tom Lawrence is going to probably stay for the time being. He's a really good backup player to have, Tom Lawrence. Can't give him the 8 because of Bird. 4's obviously gone to Jason Knight now that Shinny's gone. It's interesting that our 1, 2, 3 are all Sheffield United players in real life. But I do love Sheffield United, a really good team with Chris Wilder. Danny Ings gets the 12. So I think really the only number I can give him is 19. So I think that's what we'll keep him at for the time being. Obviously, if we do sell someone like Mason, if we do sell someone like Tom Lawrence, then that number can become free. But yeah, I think we're going to probably wrap up this episode here with that really, really big signing. As you can see, it has, you know, given us that boost in the team. If you look in terms of rating, we might even look at another right back. I don't know, but Bogle will grow quite quickly. It is 21, 22 now. So he's definitely not gonna. Yeah, he'll definitely get to an 80. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, that position. It might be a case of upgrading Ramsdale to the next level goalkeeper, because I think for this season in particular with the Champions League football, we need a very good goal, like a 85 plus rated goalkeeper, and at the minute he's only 81, so I think that might be the option. I don't know what I'll do with this defence as well. I don't know if I like Fosu Mensah in there. I do like Clark, of course, but yeah, we've got a lot of options, so I do like that. And yeah, I think we'll wrap up this episode here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the first episode. It's probably going to be quite a long one because it's mostly me talking and doing transfers. Not really any, I don't think there's many cuts in it, to be honest. It'll be easy on the edit. But yeah, make sure you do drop a like rating if you did enjoy this first episode. Make sure you do leave some comments down below on any signings, because we have got, you know, we technically got, call it 70 million once we sell the likes of Vazquez or maybe a Damari Gray. So yeah, make sure you do leave your suggestions, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.